you and Elvis, if you're on the call, could you please, put on your videos so that, everyone on this call can get to meet you guys. I'll just do a short introduction and we can get this show on the road. All right. As you guys can see, that's on my, I don't know, describing my own rights, but on my own right here is Elvis. Again, like I said, he's the chief facilitator. He's an amazing software engineer. I've worked with him for so many years, and he never disappoints. Also, is a very senior person who has worked on several impactful projects in Nigeria and outside. The same for Emmanuel. I've known him for a long time. I see him transit from, like, he read biochemistry and went to the same school, biochemistry. He went from that to being an amazing software engineer that he is today. So again, every single person on this call, you all know that there is no excuse, and this is going to transform you. All right. So Emmanuel, if you have a word to say, I'm going to hand over to you briefly, and then you just hand it over to Elvis and we take you forward. All right. Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Emmanuel. It's good to be here. Yeah, so a bit introduction about myself. So I could recall year 2018, I was also like a student in Techhaven, like you have, learning HTML, learning CSS, right? Fast forward till today, I mean, the story has changed completely. So one of the things I would advise you is come with passion. You must be willing to learn. You must be willing to go the extra mile. Yeah, like you said, transforming from biochemistry to software engineering, it's a story I would like to tell, and I will always love to tell. So as of today, I'm proud to say I've worked with the big four in the fintech industry today in Nigeria. I've worked with Zenith Bank. As of last year, I was opportunity to work on projects with Stanbic Bank. So all coming from training from Techhaven some years back. So it's a good opportunity I want everybody to leverage on, and I believe it's going to take you places. Yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you, Emmanuel. I saw someone's hand up. Do you have a question, or that wasn't intentional? Okay, I'll take that as non-intentional. All right, Elvis, this is the time to take you forward. So over to you. Feel free if you want to add some more introductions to it. Feel free to do it. But let's jump into the nitty-gritty of the matter. Over to you. Cheers.
All right, thank you very much, Male. Thank you, Manuel. It almost took my 2 hours I'm trying to manage. Well, no problem. Jokes aside. All right. Hi guys. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. I know some of us are kind of wondering. We are still wondering why we are here. Some of us already know why we are here, but let's not take too much of the time. We have just barely 2 hours, so we're trying to just meet up time. Although we try as much as possible not to make the whole thing be too packed up for you guys, just that you guys can still have an understanding as it goes further. And a quick recap from what Imole has said so many things, and the man even added some couple of things to himself. And funny enough, he did biochemistry. I think all of us are kind of like in the bio space. I also did environmental biology myself. So I just had to add this because as a person that might be feeling like their course or what they studied in school is quite different from what they're looking at here. But it's not changing anything. Regardless of what you did, what you studied, you can say write code, you can say be a programmer. You just have to come with that passion, like Emmanuel said, come with that passion that you can learn something. And I'm not assuring you that the road is going to be smooth and easy. If anybody tells you that, the person is just lying. You understand? So it might be tough sometimes. Sometimes you just feel like you have that like you're impersonating somebody else, like this is not you don't know what you are doing. It happens. Just know that when it happens, you're on the right track, you are doing something good. So that's what I do tell people, that when you start feeling like you are not supposed to be there, just know that that's when you're supposed to be there more. So things like that happens, and with the passion and the right mindset, you keep building and you just keep getting to that point that you want to get to. Right now, the sky is the limit, because like I remember the time I started then I was possibly targeting maybe just build something small. But as time goes, the environment keep on changing. Whichever technology gets added to the stack, and you just keep on adding up. So when you think you are getting to that point, several things just keeps coming up. So the sky is quite the limit because you cannot tell at which end you're going to stop. You just keep on learning, keep on improving. So that mindset of keep going is the most important thing for every engineer, because you don't want to get stuck in one spot. When everybody has progressed, you will just be left behind. So that mindset of keep on going is one thing that we should have for this particular program. So let me leave the introduction aside. I just want to hear one or two persons just head. Let me now take it to real people. Maybe because they're bored this day joining meetings, so let me just confirm. So I'm not going to call somebody random. Just say hi, and maybe like 2, 3 persons say hi. Let's get to just know you quickly. So we'll just call Toby or Money. So I just help them and just say hi to the team. Then let's just get to know you for a very, very short period of time. This is the introduction class, so feel free.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. My name is Oluwatobi Omani. I come from a graphics design background, but I'm excited to begin this journey and learn as much as I can from this opportunity. So thank you. Cheers to everyone.
Thank you, Toby. Funny enough, you mentioned graphics. Back then when I was serving, I wasn't a programmer then, but I was a graphic designer. So I started with a design mindset. I think that's why I have some eye for design in front end. Because I started with that graphics during the time of CorelDRAW, I think version 8, don't again Photoshop and the likes. But I think it's a good place they're starting from. So you are all good, doing well. That's nice. So let's hear from Binta. Sorry, I don't know. I don't want to go and murder your surname. Sorry. I think Binta.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Binta. I studied pure and applied chemistry. So when I heard the other person saying biochemistry, it's something that resonates with me. Yeah, so I studied pure and applied chemistry from school. I've never had a background in coding. So I just took up, yes, I just started my coding journey last year, January. So I'm very, very happy for this opportunity. And I'm hoping to learn and, gain valuable experience too. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Binta. Thank you, Binta. That's nice. So one last person before we kickstart something so we can still have time. Who would that be? Let's hear from Olayiwola Oyindamola. I hope I got that right.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you got that right. My name is Olagola Indamala. I'm from. Actually, I studied food tech, but I'm a banker now. I work at the teller Freedom Bank. So, a sister of mine told me about the program. So, and actually, I had the intention of going divert to something on the tech. So, I would like to give it a try and see how far I can go. So that's all. Well, I'd love to. I don't. I haven't. I love to know more about it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Olayiwola. If I have enough time, I would have at least heard from everybody, but we've already kind of spent a couple of time, but it's fine. So the main purpose of this class, like we all know, is to just take a look at front-end programming. We're not going too deep because it's quite a long straw to take a look at everything deeply, but just trying to touch on the basics so that you can be confident enough to go further from there. So what we decided to break the whole course down is into certain sections of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So some part of JavaScript. So based on our time schedule, because I'm not everybody who's available on the weekday, so that was that we had to structure something on Sunday. And based off the fact that we are having something on Sunday means that you can also you probably need to have your own day, your own time of the day to do other things yourself. So we try to make sure that we break the whole thing down into smaller modules and smaller chunks. so we can explain. Then we provide resources during the week so you can take a look at those resources and see how resources can get you up to speed as fast as possible. And this is a very, very collaborative class in the sense that it's a class that even though I'm saying something, you can just raise your hands and ask a question. Don't need to wait for me to probably finish my statement. Just cut in and ask one or two questions. It's very, very, very much collaborative. Even where I've gotten to right now, I probably don't know everything. So I would still probably need to learn one or two things from you. And there's so many things that I need to see from different people's perspectives. So I'm open to every little bit of thing. Just let me know as it hurts or where it hits. So without further ado, let's just get started. Thank you very much, guys. Once again, my name is Elvis Efemena Elvis, and I'm a software engineer. Let's just leave it like that. So let's get started. Let me share my screen so we don't waste much of our time. Let me know if you can see my screen. Just maybe give me a thumbs up or something. All right, thank you. So I prepared something that I will just use to give a very brief description, a very short PowerPoint, not so much activity on the side, just something very, very clear and easy to take a look at. So this is the week 1. So we're going to have several guides like this for week 2 down to 8. And after this particular program we're doing today, the guides that was used in this class is possibly going to be shared to the WhatsApp group, and something more is going to be shared as well. That can also help us understand what we did today. I also prepare us what we're going to do for the second week, just to have that mindset. So we're just taking a look at the fundamentals of what makes HTML HTML. Most of the time, we don't even understand what's the meaning of the HTML in itself. So for the sake of people that don't even know, or I don't want to ask the question of who knows. So person might know. So person might just do a quick Google search, or just ask. Okay, Donny Duran, raise your hand.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I just want to get, I just want to ask, like the slide you're presenting, would we get it? Or
Yeah, you get it.
all right, thank you.
Yeah.
That's just thank you.
Yeah, no problem. If you get anything, just ask me anything that you want to get together. All right. So I don't want to ask a question, but I think maybe let me just go ahead to ask it in terms of who knows the meaning of HTML, or is there anybody that knows? I just want to have that conversation. Since the conversational class, let's ask. I'll do my work, you do your work, we do together. So can anybody just help us in like what they've talked about, or what they've thought about, or what they've seen, or what they've known by HTML, basically? Anybody want to help, or I should just call somebody? No, you can go ahead. Just tell me. Binta, okay. Hypertext markup language. All right, good. Thank you. All right, so what HTML means, like what Binta said, is just hypertext markup language. Basically means a language that helps you to create structures and block programming, basically. Most of the time, I take HTML as, most persons, not just me, most persons take HTML as just skeletal structure of a particular project, a particular work. Somebody will say, okay, HTML is just like a skeleton of a human body. Then CSS, like we're going to talk about sometime a week from now, some week from now, is centered around what makes that skeleton fleshy, what makes it looks good, what makes it have those colors and stands out. Those are the things that we talked about CSS. And if you mean of CSS, it's just like a cascading style sheet. That's what it means, cascading style sheet. Then when we add JavaScript to the whole thing, and it gives it some form of dynamics, motion, ability to do certain things, move around, jump. So for a human being, you can take a look at a human being as a full project that has the skeleton, which is the HTML part of it, like we're looking at right now. Then what makes it looks good, which is the CSS, I'm going to add to it. Then what makes it functional, JavaScript. So this is like a quick breakdown of what HTML does in that project. Because without the HTML, nothing stands. Without the skeleton, nothing stands. So the goals for this week, there are simple goals, just about 5 goals, not much. So first of all, to understand the basis of web development and how the internet works here and there, then we'll take a look at the core structure of an HTML document, what it entails. Also, use HTML tags to create headings, paragraphs, lists, and a couple of things here and there. And understand the importance of semantic HTML for accessibility and SEO. Then we're also going to set up our development environment, which is a code editor, and also some couple of few things on our browser. I think we'll take a look at this first, or let's just take a look at all of this, just do a little bit of deep dive. Then before we go into the practice stage, then we'll set up our environment. I think that's easy. So the first module we're looking at is just an introductory module, text-based, that talks about the introduction to web development, what is the internet and the World Wide Web. I think it's a very boring bit. Most persons knows this already, so I'll just read this and let's just get ahead of it. So the internet is the global network of computers. The World Wide Web is a collection of websites accessed via the internet. Websites are built with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, obviously, but not just entirely true, because websites are built with so many things these days. You have the backend, which is very, very crucial. And if you start mentioning things like, okay, what about React? What about Vue? What about this? What about that? Those still have their roots on JavaScript. JavaScript is still like the core structure that makes up all those React, Vue, and the likes. But so this, at the end of the day, on a web platform, these three languages here are the primary core that makes up any web app at all. Any web app at all. These three languages are the main core. So your basic understanding of these three is already giving you an edge to actually get into maybe start making use of things like React, Vue, and the likes. But this just covers the front end, but not the back end. So the back end is a different gravy. This is just basically centered around the front end. So on the 1.2, looking at how do web browsers work. This is still like another boring piece, but let's just read it through. So web browsers fetch and display web pages. They interpret HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to render the page visually, basically. So that's what it does. So without a web browser, you can write a very fine, structured code looking good. And if you don't have a web browser to render that particular code you've written, nobody understands it. Nobody can get the value from what you just wrote down. So your web browser is very, very necessary for you to render your fine or neat written code. That web browser, nothing else works. So we'll just go through some couple of slides, then we'll take a look at some practice, and we'll just move on from there. So on the whole idea of the web, generally, we have the front end, the back end, and the full stack development, and the whole setup and everything. So in terms of the front end, back end, and full stack development, so if you ask yourself a front end, who's the front end person, or what does the front end person do? A front end person is just a person that focuses on the user interface of a project, or let me just say an application in this case. All of us that came to the meeting today wants to be a front end developer, or yeah, basically wants to be a developer. So we're trying to target, okay, what do I need to focus on? What do I need to start? How do I start? How do I start? So this is what you're going to take a look at, user interfaces. User interface in terms of when a person picks up a project or when a person picks up an application, the things that they get to see, how they get to react or experience the projects or the products, the cool interface, the animations, the colors, all those things are the things that the front-end person has to think about, has to kind of bring those things into life. Even these days, at the time that I learned whole of all this shit, there was not much of design work going on back then. So just some bunch of guys would just take design, put it, wrap the design around, maybe set it up on CorelDRAW. And I think later we moved to Photoshop. Before I think Adobe SD came up, then there was Figma, then started having UI, UX, the whole Gibberish started and everything. But basically, it was centered around just one guy who was a front end, back end, full stack person, designer, everybody. And one guy. That one guy has the idea. He writes an HTML for it. He pegs in a PHP to it. He writes a CSS to it. He even writes some parts, some JavaScript to it. You just write everything in one place, and you just have a full stack project that is just pushed on one or two servers back then. But right now, everything has become simplified to the point that you now have a department that focuses on design called the UI UX guy, And even that UI UX, some companies split it into two. They have a UI, they have a UX team. So everything is kind of just getting easy. Then you have a front-end team that focuses basically around converting those designs or those works that the UI UX team has done into code. You understand? Then those code does not really make sense without having some back-end logic attached to it. Then that whole thing makes complete sense. So the front end is just concerned about that user interface on how to make it sit well with the final consumer. And the back end in this case focuses on the logic in terms of if I send data for the if I collect data on my form as a front end person, what do I do with it? Then the backend collects that data, process it, save it, do whatever I want to do with it, and return the result back to the front end. So without the backend, the front end does not have a complete project. And without the front end, the backend will just write logic that nobody else can make use of. So both of them goes hand in hand. They have to marry each other, otherwise nothing works. And a full stack guy in this case is just that guy that knows everything. That guy that can come up with interface design, the guy that can still do some backend server logic here and there is the full stack guy. That is not our major aim for this class, not a backend or the full stack, but a front end person. Hopefully, we can take a look at some interfaces. Then moving to the next part, we'll talk about setting up a development environment. I'm going to come back to this to have VS Code. Quickly, we'll come back with, let me not just digress too much. Let's just take a look at some other things. Then on the module 2, we're talking about some core HTML structures. I'm going to just brief through this because I have this packed up in another practice I want to take now. I want to talk about some core HTML structures, which are HTML elements and tags. I'm going to explain this clearly later. Then talk about tags, like what are tags? The tags are enclosed in angle brackets, e.g. paragraph or paragraph tags. Then tags often have opening and closing tags, which is something like this. We're going to come back to this as well. Then the basic structure of an HTML document starts with a doc type, which declares the document type, which is an HTML document type that is kind of declaring over here. Then we talk about HTML, which is like the root element that has to always be on every HTML structure. Then the head, which contains some metadata. Then the body, which contains some visible elements. You understand? I'm going to explain this, but I want to just give your mind a little bit of picture. By the time you start looking at it in terms of the code part of it, you will have, okay, this is where I saw an head, this is where I saw body, stuff like that. So these are just like the basic structure of an HTML element, because without these basic structures, nothing will render. So an HTML structure needs to have this, like very, very important. Because without them, nothing will just render on your screen. So moving ahead, we have other HTML elements, which are things like the image tags. So this is clear. If I ask anybody now, like, what does this image do? I guess somebody will just, I guess anybody can get it. You understand? Because it helps to just display images. We've seen websites, mobile apps, everything that has images these days, images everywhere. So what helps them to display those images is just the image tag over here. Then this part here, it just helps for SEO. In case, why this, let me just give a little bit of hints of why this auth is here. So this auth tends to be like what you can call an alternative. Like you have auth on your Windows system too. So this auth works in such a way that in terms of SEO, the browsers or the crawlers can easily detect the content of this image by the auth text to know, okay, what is this image actually rendering, and have an idea and hope gets better SEO on the auth. And also in terms of when you try to post display an image, and for some reason, let's say the image links gets broken or it is not showing, something happened, maybe the images has been deleted from where it was, the link does not work again. So instead of that particular space to be blank, it shows up the text there. So you get to know, okay, this particular image box is supposed to show this certain text or this certain idea of image. So it just gets replaced by the alt text. So that's why both of them are very important and they go hand in hand as well. Then creating basic pages, we have some headings, which are H1 to H6. Then we have some paragraphs and we have some listing tags. This listing tag just help us to list items. Just like, for example, I'm trying to list an item. Let me just explain each of everything here, so I can also explain it later more clearer. So for the H1 and H6 text, there are some text that you can see on your screen that for example, let's take a look at this text. This text over here is quite bigger than some couple of other texts on the screen. Then we have this text as well here, which is smaller than this text. Then I think these texts are almost the same thing. So these H1, H6 texts are high level type, so high level bold text. Let me just say that bold text. But the more you get down from H1 to H2, H6, it becomes smaller, but still maintaining its bold text quality. We'll talk about that more. Then the paragraph. Remember when you were writing essays in school, and they'll be like, once you've written one paragraph, go to the next paragraph. So basically, that's what the paragraph does. It helps us to group certain text content together. Then when we want to start another new block of text, we wrap it again on a paragraph and have another block of text again at the bottom. It gives it a little bit of small space at the middle. I'll show you how that works too as well. Then for the lists, we have a couple of list tags like the UL, the OL, the LI. So what the UL means here, I'm going to explain it further too as well. Like I said, don't worry. So the UL is just an unordered list. Unordered lists, if you kind of ask the question, what are unordered lists? Unordered lists are lists that are not ordered. For example, you have when you have bullet points. I'm trying to list an item on a sheet of paper, and I don't want to do one, this, two, this, three, this. I just want to put maybe a bullet of dash, dash, next one dash, or circle, or anything at all. So if I put a dash and I start writing my content, I put a dash again and write again, dash again and write again, then that is an unordered list because it cannot be ordered by anything. You just have dash everywhere. It's an unordered list. Then the ordered list are lists that I can come and write one, put in something, two, put in an item, three, put an item, or I can do alphabets, A item, B item, C item, D item. So those kind of structures are called lists in general, but the one that has numberings or alphabets or something you can use to order them are called ordered lists. But the ones without a proper ordering, just dash, maybe just dash, circle or whatever, are the unordered list. So we'll come to that to see how it works basically. Then we have a couple of text formatting semantics, which includes some bold text, which is the B for bold. And then we have the I for italics, then the U for underline. Then these are just mark for highlights, then strong for important text. So that's how we just have a couple of things there. Then some semantics that we have for the HTML elements, which are the header tags, the nav tag section, and the like. I think those ones are better shown in terms of proper view than just discussing it here. That's why I'm trying to just move ahead. Then the importance of semantic HTML, I think we can come to that later. So now we are done with the introduction and we're trying to take a look at our practice. So we can take a look at the practice that we have for today, then work out something so the whole class can be collaborative and conversational. Once again, I want to hear your voices. It's very important to hear your voices. So the first thing I'm going to do for now, before going ahead, is to take a look at VS Code. I don't know how many persons downloaded VS Code already. Is there anybody that is able to download VS Code? Just let me know. Okay, you haven't downloaded yet. Okay, so I want to carry everybody along as much as I can. So let me just give us a couple of 2 minutes to just set it up to download VS Code. So download VS Code for an easy process. Just go to VS Code on the browser, then click on the first link, or there's a download link here, still the same. I'm currently using a Mac, so that's why they're showing download for Mac OS. But if you're using the Windows, you see download for Windows OS as well. So quickly just download this and let me know. I'll just give you some couple of 2 minutes so we get started. So for those that have VS Code downloaded already, so the next thing that we need to do is to, before we wait for them to have VS Code, but we want to create an account. So we'll be creating a couple of accounts because as we build on this project, it makes more sense that we get to put the project out there, because these little things helps to boost our morals, to make us feel like, hey, we did something, we are doing something, we are making progress. So we're going to start with having a Netlify account. I'm not a person might already have a Netlify account already, but I think it's everybody. So we'll just do the same tool like we did for VS Code. We search for Netlify on our browser here. Then we'll just click on maybe the first one, which is the Netlify login over here. Then that will take us to Netlify page here as well. I'll give another 2 minutes on that. Let me have a little bit of discussion. So somebody I've not spoken to, let me do a branching. Let me see if I have it. Okay, Adeyinka, what's up? How you doing?
Hi, good afternoon, Elvis.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, how's the
good
class so far?
afternoon.
Hope I'm making progress.
Well, for now, yeah, I'm making progress for now.
Okay.
I
Do you
think
have the
everything
VS
is kind of new.
Okay.
I'm just downloading it right now.
All right. All right. Just want to make sure that at least I have an idea of what most persons are on. Do you have a Netlify as well on a tab, on a different tab?
Do I have what? Sorry.
Netlify, like a Netlify account.
No,
Because
I
I saw.
don't. I don't.
Okay, okay. So just open up Netlify on a different tab. So we have to log in and create an account on Netlify as well.
Okay, I will
Yeah,
do that now.
I'm going to give you some. I'm going to give you some time to just get that sorted out. So let me hear from James Atsume. Hi, James. How you doing?
I'm very fine, thank you, sir.
How's it
Yes, I
going?
believe in sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's very fine, thank you.
All right. Do you have the VS Code set up yet?
Yes, yes, sir. I have already. I've
All right.
downloaded it.
Perfect. Perfect. You have a
Yes, sir.
Netlify open
Yes,
up
thank
on a new tab.
the what?
Do you have Netlify open up on a new tab?
No, sir.
Okay, just go to your browser, just type in Netlify. It's going to open up on Google just like this. Then you click on Netlify login. You can stay there, we're going to come back there in a bit.
All right, sir.
Yeah, I don't want to
All
move too
right, sir.
fast.
It's fine.
I'm trying to just carry that
All
along.
right,
Okay.
all right, sir. I will do that right away.
All right, thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
yes.
All right, Amaka, let's hear from you. Amaka, sorry, I don't want to pronounce your surname. I miss it wrong. I miss it. Let me just hear from you. I think that's the Amaka we have. Right.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Oh God, my network is bad.
Can you hear
Hello,
me?
hello, Elvis.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. How's it going on your end?
I'm trying to download the VS Code, but the other site, I don't know. My network here is very bad.
Okay. Where are you coming? Where are you joining from?
What did you say?
So where are you joining from? Are you in Lagos or somewhere else?
From like my location,
Yeah, your location.
Kano State.
Oh, that's very, 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 very nice. Okay, let me drop the website again. Let me go back to the tab. So Netlify, and let me drop it on the message so it's there for everybody to pick. So just go to, you can just search Netlify on Google, then you will see the first link called Netlify login. Then click on that. Then we'll come back and do a login with everybody together. All right, so let me just hear from two more persons to try to get an idea of where we all are. Amaka, sorry about your network. So just try and see if you can manage to follow up. Hopefully by next Sunday it will be okay. All right, let me hear from Gloria. I think I have one Gloria. Yes, I do. So Gloria, if you're available to talk, how is it going to end? Okay, I don't think Gloria is here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, let's hear from Gibbs, please. How's it going to end?
Good afternoon, Elvis. I'm not
Yeah,
really like following because there's no light my side, but I already
no,
have VS Code downloaded in my laptop.
no, okay. In case you have any question at any point in time, just feel free to just let me know.
All right,
All right, I'll follow up
thank
on you in
you.
particular because I know working now, so I'll follow up on you in particular. I need to know what you do at the end of the day. All right, one more person since I didn't get to hear from Gibbs. I think I just heard from John Taiwo.
Yeah, hi, Elvis. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, John.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay, thank you. I've downloaded VS Code before, and I've actually created an account on Netlify as well. So I think I'm
Awesome,
good.
awesome, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So since you are good, we need to get to there from one more person before we continue. So I don't know, Onyi Amechi, let me just know where you are on the setup.
Hi, FA.
Hi, Onyi.
Yeah, I've done the download.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about the Netlify? Are you there?
Yes, I'm downloading right away.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I can't go around everybody. That will consume some couple of time on my end and also on your end as well. So I'll just go right away to the Netlify once more. So the VS Code that we downloaded for some persons that don't know about the VS Code thing is where we normally write our code. You can see some samples that was written here to just render some things neatly. Let me do a little bit of digression. I think most of us writing code or learning how to write code these days are not familiar with where we started back then. Although it's a story that doesn't even concern me right now. But I felt like sometimes we need to appreciate where we're coming from. So we need to know where we're coming from to appreciate where we are right now. I'm also look forward to where we're going to. In the sense that back then when I started learning, um, I think VS Code was kind of in the mix, but not so common. I think I started with writing some couple of things. There's this particular platform called Dreamweaver back then. I don't even know if they're dead or something, but maybe you can try and check it out. Dreamweaver. Can't remember what it looks like right now. But there was Dreamweaver that wasn't to write then. Then we later moved to Notepad++. There was a Notepad++. It was a very white UI based, fine kind of thing. Then there was Sublime Text. If you can relate, you can relate, you understand. There was Sublime Text, then there was brackets and some other ones. I can't remember many, but when VS Code came, it just kind of dominated everywhere, and these other guys just went off. I don't think anybody makes use of Sublime Text anymore, no brackets. You understand? Everybody just mixes of VS Code heavily. So that's like the whole story of the VS Code thing. It has dominated the whole editing space so well, so perfectly well, that nobody mixes of any other thing else aside VS Code. You understand? So that's why we are doing VS Code, so we can write our code, properly format it, and run some things here and there. So the Netlify on the other end here helps us to do some small basic deployments, at least for our level, where we can build some minor small projects and put it on the internet so everybody can see. It gives us a certain link that we can share the link with our friends or even lose it or look at it ourselves and say like, okay, I have this small piece of design. IDEs sometime, and this is the URL. People get to see it and like, wow, you tried. So it gets to motivate you. So instead of just doing some projects and keeping it on our computers, it makes sense that even if we do a button or anything at all that we're going to do, we'll just push it there. You understand? At the end of the day, if the things you push week 1, week 2, week 3 down to week 8, you can see that there was a level of progress we made from that week 1 down to week 8. So that's why we said, okay, let's start the whole thing up with these accounts, identify accounts, so we can have something that we worked on being pushed to that particular platform so that we could only take a look at it anytime, any day. So I already have an account myself, and I'll possibly just log into my accounts. I don't want to create some other accounts. I want to think my email will work multiple times. So, but to create an account is quite easy. You go to sign up, put in your email and password, then you just get to sign up. Is anyone having trouble setting up on Netlify? Just let me know. Anybody? All right, I guess the silence means we are all good and it's clear for us to proceed. So I'll just quickly log into my own Netlify account. It's been like ages I made use of this thing. Hopefully I can remember my own password. Oops, I think I forgot my own password. Let me log in my GitHub instead. All right, so this is my funny looking VS Netlify. I think I've had this thing up for quite a long time. Can't remember when I opened this account, but it's been a very good account that has stuck with me for a long time. Can take a look at some couple of projects that I had to drop in there. This project, I think I dropped this project 2020. That was 4 years ago. This was just kind of like a resume I was playing around with. Then you can see so many projects that I've just had to drop and there on it, just like that. Let me open up this project for you. So you see, this was the project I did some donkey years ago. So the beauty of Netlify, like I always tell people, is that I did this thing 4 years ago. I've not made any updates. I didn't have to pay for it or do anything as such. And I can still come here and just open the link, and the link still works. And it just makes a lot of sense than having somebody you are paying for something that you have to be coming back to renew, subscription and everything. Your work is still there. I can still come here and click on this link, and it opens up the whole thing I did some couple of years ago. This is me back then. So it opens some couple of things. This was when I just playing around some couple of designs. Don't worry about the designs, they're not that good enough. But this was at the early stage, like back then, some basic stuff, and they are still there. Take a look at some other project that I have. There are just a couple of projects back then. So let me take a look at this one I did quite recently. That was last year. So this is kind of like a more improved portfolio than the one I did initially. So you can see everything is still there. I don't have to pay for it, and everything just makes sense. So like I said, when we start having projects like this that we get to just hook up to Netlify, we can take a look at it some years from now, and we have like a fulfillment that we started something well, and we are getting to a place where we can feel more fulfilled about our lives here and there. So, up to my born story, I believe that we, excuse me, excuse me. So I believe that we are good with everything that we need to do concerning the Netlify. From now, I just assume that, okay, we are at this point. So we need to deploy or push our project to Netlify. Then we'll come back and we'll walk through how it's done. So I have this little bit of practice set up. So this is what ended the presentation. So we'll just go to the practice points, then we'll continue from there. Then hopefully less so we can finish up for the end of the day. So I have this set up. I don't know if you have a VS Code. Sorry, before we go further, let's just look at our VS Code. Let's get it set up so we know where we are. So I don't know, can you see my VS Code, or is it too small? Or is this okay? Is this okay now?
It's too small, sir. Yes, it's better now. Better.
Okay. I think I'll look for one person's or three persons' name that I can always be calling without coming to look at this. Okay, I think I can call on Doyin. I can call on Gift. Okay, Gift said he's not practicing, so let me just allow B. I can call on John. I can call on, let me call on Read1. I have not heard from Read1. So Read1, John, and Doyin. Let me see if I can remember those three names so that I don't have to come back here. Just call it to like get response and say I can shuffle it round. So going back to the guide we have for today. Sorry, the VS Code, like I said. So you said it's big enough, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you. So if you remember the last time I was talking about HTML structures, and I made mention of some certain core structures, which I said without these certain core structures, the HTML code that you're going to write will not render. So I think I talked about that at this point. Okay, Eddie, what's the challenge?
Yeah, I was just trying to set up, and it's I think probably the setting up of let me just go back to it. The Netify. There are a couple of questions that are being asked.
Okay,
You know,
what
what kind of site you want to build up, what is the name of your team, and you know, stuff like that. You know, it's my first time interacting with this, so I don't really know. Yeah, so maybe not to waste everybody's time, maybe if you could spare me maybe 2 minutes at the end.
All right, no problem. Let's do that.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem. Anybody else having the same issue or a separate issue? All right, I guess we're good. I'm assuming we're good, but if we're not good, still let me know. No problem. So remember when we were talking about this section and we're looking at core HTML structures, then we made mention of these elements here as core structures that are very, very needed for an HTML to render, or HTML code to render, basically. Then this is, if you go to your VS Code for now, currently I have this whole thing set up over here. So what you can do when you open your VS Code, I'm going to see, let's just set up VS Code right now. Let's not think too much. Let me create a folder and just call it, let me just say week one resources, basically. Then I'm just trying to drop all of this into the folder. It's not something that you have to worry about. Just keep calm. Then I'm getting a folder. So your VS Code basically will just look more like this, kind of as though it's empty. Let me close all of this to look like this. Kind of like an empty VS Code. I don't know why it's not empty. But I don't know, can anybody see my screen right now? I think this part is kind of blank, or it's just me seeing it as that.
Yeah, we can see it's blank.
All right. So we're going to create a folder. I don't want to create it on this week one. I'm just trying to kind of simulate exactly what you can see to the most of my understanding. So you have an empty folder over here, or an empty space without anything. Do I have week one? Just ignore the week one that I have there. Assume there's nothing there. So just see that the empty space over here on the side. And to some persons, there may be some write up at the middle that says you can really click on the folder, blah, 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 many story. Trying to see if it's showing. It's not showing. So you can see some write up at the edge here. You can open up a folder, whatever. Just ignore all of those things. So the first thing that I also need everybody to do as well, let's go back to our file explorer. So persons might be using a MacBook like the way I'm using. So persons might be using a file explorer Windows. So you have a file explorer. So the first thing that I need us to do is that we need to let's create a folder called Techhaven. Can call it Techhaven tutorials or Techhaven class, Techhaven project, but just add the Techhaven to it. And when you're writing the Techhaven, or when you're writing the title of the particular folder, try as much as possible not to include speaks in your write-up. Something like, let me try and see if I can make this bigger. Unfortunately, I can't. So something like this, for example, I want to create a folder and I'm coming here to do something like Techhaven, and I'm having a space and I'm doing tutorials. So try as much as possible not to have this space in your naming convention. It's something that this I think most systems these days are finding a way to adjust to it, but it's not just conventional in a naming paradigm to have content that has to have a title of a file or title of a folder that has space in between. So always make sure that you cover up the space, just close it up together and remove it. Doesn't matter, just lock it up. That you lock it up, or you can use a dash, like the way I made it of a dash somewhere here, or you use a Pascal or a camel case, whatever the case may be. But just make sure that you don't have a space in your naming convention going forward from now on. I think that's like the first rule of being a developer. Always avoid space in your naming. It can bite you later, but just avoid it now. So I believe at this point in time, we've already created a folder called something that we want to call it, be it Techhaven, be it anything. This folder is already there on our project. Then we can, inside that particular folder, we can create some other folder we call week 1, like the way I just did, call it week 1, so that by week 2, we can put some other one called week 2. Then whatever resources we try to work with or practice with for week 2, we'll place it in the week 2 folder, just to guide us on the level of progress that we've made across each of the weeks. So for now, we'll be having week 1. Then everything we're going to work with week 1 is going to be in week 1 folder. Does anybody have any issues trying to set this folder structure up? Doni, Amaka, who else? Ridwan, who else? I can't remember. Unyi. Yeah, I can't remember again. But who else is anybody having issue with setting up this setup that we have here? Don't create this, don't worry about these ones. These are my own gibberish. Just worry about this folder and the folder inside of it. Donnie, are we good?
Yeah, we're good, yes.
Okay. Amaka, are we good? Gloria, are we good? Adeyinka, James?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good. Busari, are we good? Binta, Cyril, are we good?
Yeah, we are good, sir.
All right, Amaka has responded. All right, so let me hear from, I think I heard from Amoni the first time, the graphics guy. Amoni, how far? Are we good?
All good, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So let's just continue. I guess by now we already have our projects structure properly done. So one thing that we can do when we have our projects properly done, if you install your VS Code properly, what you can do is, let me know about that one. Let's just leave it. It's kind of a little bit of not necessary right now. So let's just leave it aside. So when you go to your VS Code, you open your VS Code to open that folder that you are on. Let me say a way I can work that out for you guys. So I'll just close my current VS Code and reopen it again. So let me open my VS Code from scratch. So I want to open up a new window, so it's not be like something that is different from what you guys have. So this is what most persons must have seen when they open up their VS Code in the first place. You see so many
So I
things
cannot see
about
your screen from my end. Cannot see your
That's
screen,
my
sir. Yes, sir.
I can actually see your screen. I don't know, but I think I can see your screen.
Okay, who else cannot see my screen? Read one. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you maybe try to maybe rejoin and try to see if you can see the screen. But if you can't see the screen, just let me know. Let's see what we can do about it. Okay. So we're talking about the VS Code that we have here. So basically, most persons will just see a simple setup like this on their VS Code, and they've already created a certain folder somewhere else that has Techhaven and all of those things inside of it. So what you can do to open up that particular folder in your VS Code is very easy. So you click on open here. This is kind of like open up a folder, while this click here is opening up a new file. So to open up a folder, we don't have to worry about all this. It's not necessary right now. Just leave it out. So we'll go to open up the folder. We'll click open. So when you click on open, it opens up your file explorer, either a Finder or normal file explorer from Windows. So you open it up, then you can navigate to the folder where you created that Techhaven title to. So currently my own is created on the desktop, and inside the desktop I created it in projects because I have all my projects always in one place. So maybe that's the cat, maybe that's another way you can start following up your development as well. Not just creating everything in downloads, everything just modeled up there. Always be intentional. So make sure you have the setup. You can follow my own the way I have it. Wonderful. If not, go with what works. But make sure that you are intentional in your organization of your projects, so you can really find everything you worked on several years in one place. So I have it on my projects. Then if I go to my project, I can see it here, Techhaven, showing up here. So I click on it, Techhaven. I don't need to click on week one because I'm not entering week one. I'm just staying up on Techhaven fully. So on click of Techhaven, I click on open. Then it has opened up my project. That's why you can now see my week one showing up here. Assuming I had week two, I can see week two and other weeks. I will see them everywhere lined up here. But right now I'm having just week one that I've created before, which is this empty, not empty folder on my end, but might be an empty folder on your end. So this is just the week one showing up here. So I believe we've been able to come to this point where we have week one, the Techhaven project opened up on VS Code, and I believe everybody's with me. But if you're not still with me, I will just do a little bit of rechecks from a couple of 3-4 persons and progress from there. So Gloria, I haven't heard from you. Are you there or you have a network issue? Okay, just hit me up when you're available, maybe a message or something. Messi, how are you doing? Messi, are you there? Okay, I think Messi is also missing in action too as well. Olayiwola, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
All right, I was almost thinking my network had issues. How is it going? How is it going on your end?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Fine.
Have you been able to download VS Code and create identifier accounts yet?
No, not yet. I'm having a difficulty in my network over here.
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I said not yet. I'm having difficulty with my network over here.
Okay. All right, so I will catch up with you and gifts because both of you are not working at the time. So I will just catch up with you guys to follow up. I think somebody mentioned. All right, thank you. Busari said you're having an issue on your end. What could be the issue?
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Hello, Bushari. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I was having some network issues earlier and I didn't get on how to open the Netlify account and I'm also trying to download the VS Code right now. It hasn't finished downloading. So I think maybe I should open the Netlify account now and then go back to the VS Code when it has finished downloading. But I
Okay.
don't know how to go about that.
Can you say progress on the VS Code? Let me know how long it can complete.
Yes, there is a progress on it, and due to the network here, I think I have like 1 hour 30 minutes before it finishes downloading.
Okay. All right. I think I'll take the blame for all of these delays. I think I should have sent out some couple of requirements that should have been done at least before this call, so that all of us shall
All
should
right,
have
it's
had
fine.
that. You get so, but nevertheless, it's an introduction class for today, so we're trying to just get things set up. So we don't mind taking some couple of time. I don't want to just waste much of a time. I want everybody to have a little bit of value, at least today, if not deep, but at least a couple of ideas. So I'll follow up on you on your VS Code issues when you are done. Just let me know. You can go ahead
Okay,
and create the Netlify, put an
thank
account.
you.
No problem. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I would sign up on the Netlify just now.
All right, thank you. So Amaka, you
Okay.
asked why creating a Netlify account, should it be personal or work? And secondly, what kind of sites? Just make it personal. Just make it
Okay.
personal. For
And
what kind of
there's
site?
yeah, what kind of site? Yeah, do you want to build first?
Is it giving you options to select from, or you have to just put in something else?
It's giving me option. I've seen documentation, personal site, games, company site, blog, web 3.0, e-commerce, web app, and something else.
It does make it personal sites. It doesn't matter. You can even put anything later on. I don't think there's a way that they can restrict it. But just make it personal site, so but they don't start asking you to do so many things extra by the side. Yeah,
But the
everyone.
next option,
Okay.
do I have to say where is written what best describe your role? I don't know if I should go with the product engineer or I don't know.
Just go with anything. Those are just onboarding questions. They don't really use it
Okay.
much. Feel free to just make your choices.
Okay. All right.
All right, thanks. Read one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just want to call out that you can skip all the question and come back to it later too as well. So I guess
All right.
that's what most of us did. We just keep the questions.
All right, you can do that as well. You can skip it too as well if you don't want to fill it up. It doesn't really change your interface or limit what you can do. They're just some onboarding data to help them improve. To have an idea of, okay, how many developers do I have on this platform? How many persons are building personal sites on this platform? Not just analytical data. So it won't change your interface or make you limited on what the things you can do on the platform. They're just kind of like onboarding and analytical data. So skip it, fill it up, fill anything you like. So good. So I think I need to hear from one more person, and that would be Mercy. I don't think I've heard from Mercy. Mercy, how you doing? Or let me hear from Tayo Isola instead, since I can't hear from Mercy right now. So Tayo Ishola, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. My Netlify is open. I have my VS Code to open.
Open on the project.
Yes, I've created the folders you requested, and yes, I'm with you. I'm where you are.
Perfect, perfect. I should give you a 5-star rating. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Eddie was having an issue. I have to get back to him. I think Bushari too as well. Then Amaka, I responded to Amaka. I think you can just make some progress. Let's make some progress and see how it goes. So let's go back to our VS Code. So I believe at this point in time, we have this Techhaven environment opened, and every one of us, at least those that have, then those that haven't or that are not working currently, Just try and follow up. Even though you are not practicing now, but you can still ask questions. So don't limit yourself to the point where you have to take a look at it first before you can ask questions. You can still ask questions, no matter how useless or you think the question might be in your head. There's still a use inside of it. So just ask your questions, be free. So I was trying to think about this week one. I believe we are kind of here, though you might not have this content like I have here currently. But I was trying to explain something about this week one practice where I was trying to say, I mentioned certain things about core structures, core structures of an HTML element. And I talked about the doc type, the HTML, the head, and the body. And I was saying that this HTML structure cannot render without this important attribute, which is the doc type over here. Sorry, let me increase my size. I should forgot about that. So this doc type over here, the HTML code will not function without the doc type. Then also we have the HTML, which is a wrapper that wraps around the whole thing. Then we have the header that wraps around this content over here. I'm going to explain that as well. Then we have the body. So if we take a look at the core structure, we'll talk about tags this morning. What are tags? Tags are basically HTML. Take a look at building blocks. When we're small, we do building blocks every time. And we can play building blocks on our phones, games, whatever. Then in a house, we have certain things that builds up the house called building blocks, small blocks. So take tags as element blocks that builds up a project, that builds up a website. So tags basically are not just anything that starts with an opening and closing angle brackets. A tag can be something like this, or can also appear like this as well. So this particular tag that has an open and closing brackets, this tag is referred to as an opening, a tag that has an opening and closing. I think I made mention of this when I was discussing the initial presentation, where we have an opening and closing tags. So there are more tags in the HTML universe or the HTML series. We have so many couple of tags that have an opening and closing frame. I'm going to talk about those tags. Then we have some tags that are referred to as self-closing tags. Self-closing tags. All of these, I think I made mention of them. You can see why I talked about them here. Tags are including angle brackets. Tags open and closing tags. I talked about them here. I'm just trying to be explicit on my explanations around here now. So we have the opening and closing tags. I also have self-closing tags. Self-closing tags are tags that don't require a close. They open themselves and they close themselves. You understand? I'm going to identify some open and closing tags somewhere around this whole lecture mix. So I'll give you a very few example of an open and closing tags. You can see already give me one funny open example of an open and closing tags over here. But we won't go with that one, we'll go something easy. So we have tags like a paragraph tag. Will be clear in a bit to come back here. So we have a paragraph tag, which is an opening and a closing tag. It opens and closes itself. We have another tag that can do this as well. We have the bold tag. This tag makes your content bold. It can open itself, it can close itself. The open and closing tags as well. Then we have another tag there's so many tags. We have the H1. These are open and closing tags. Then the tags that can close themselves or they can open and close themselves, a very, very important piece of those multiple tags. They're not too much of a tag. It's just this image tag over here, like it has given us over here. So we have this image tag. Image tag opens up itself, but doesn't get to close. You understand? Back in the day, we normally do close it with a forward slash. But because of the advancement of certain structures and everything, it has now reduced to having just something like this, where you can have an image tag that opens itself and also closes itself. But this time around does not require you to have this forward slash as a close. Something like this just works. And another opening tag will also self-opening tag is also a break tag as well. This break tag helps you to separate items into next line, just like that. So this is also a break, a self-closing tag as well. I'm going to dive into this more. We have the HR tags that gives you an underline. I'm going to explain all of this. I'm just going to give you a recap or an idea of tags. We're going to be mentioning tags quite a lot. So you need to have an idea of what tags means. When you mention tag, what should come to your head is building blocks. Blocks that builds up a large context. Tags. That's the idea. Now we have two types of tags. We have a tag that can open itself and also require a closing. That is, the tag opens, the tag closes. And we have a tag that does not require a closing. It opens up itself and it automatically closes up itself. You understand? So those are the two types of tags that we have. So I'll just remove this, then go straight to the core structure of this statement that we can see the open and closing tags here. So we have this doc type. This doc type, from what we can see, is definitely a self-closing tag because it opened up itself and closed itself. You understand? It does not require any close to close it. It's a self-closing tag. Now, when you come down to the HTML tag over here, HTML tags opens up itself and also requires a close to close itself. So it is not a self-closing tag, but just a tag that opens and requires a close. So this is an opening and closing tag, HTML. Same thing too for the head. The head opens itself and also requires a close. So it is not a self-closing tag, but a tag that requires a close to close itself. Now we have other tags called the meta tags inside the head. The meta tag, you can see, it opens up itself here, but it doesn't require a close. You understand? Like I said, there are some tags that have, these days, you can remove this, but for by convention, it's best it's just there. It makes it works. It makes it just make sense. So let's just leave that forward slash there. Let's just follow convention. So we have the meta tags. Meta tags opens itself and closes itself. So we can call it a self-closing tags. You understand? Then we have other tags called the title tag. We have another meta tag here as well. Then we have the title tags as well. Title tags open itself but does not close. It requires a close to close itself. So that is why these tags are just two. They're not much. Self-closing and the one that opens and closes. Two type of building blocks. Then lastly, we have the body. The body is also a tag that opens up itself and closes itself. So from all indications of everything that we've explained in this small context, you can see that we have a couple of some number of tags here. And I think I will just call on randomly call on let me try and think one person I can remember their name. I can't remember most person's name, but I'm trying to figure out somebody that I have not called. So that's what I'm thinking. So let me say Olayiwola. I know you're not practicing yet, but I'm expecting you to at least follow in terms of understanding what we're doing. Can you identify a self-closing tags from everything that we've explained so far on this page that I'm currently on? No pressure, feel free. Are you there? Okay, let's go to gifts. I know gift is some other person too that is still not practicing, and I want her to just follow. So I want to know she's following. So gifts, are you there?
Yes, yes, I'm there.
Perfect. So can you identify one self-closing tags on this whole mix that we have here?
We have the meta tag and the doc type.
Sharp, sharp. That's nice. You've answered everything. I said one, but you've answered everything. So it's I have to understand that you're following. I believe you now. Well done. All right. So follow up on that. We have aside this doc type and meta, the rest are open and closing. So those ones are pretty straightforward. So moving on to what we're going to take a look at, I want to explain a little bit of structure in terms of why do we have an head and why do we have a body, so that we can understand what we're trying to take a look at by the time we get into the deep dive. So for the head tags is a tag that contains, let's take a look at this. A human being has a head and a body. You understand? In the human being's head, there's a couple of things that the human being is thinking and processing that you don't get to see because they're inside the head. You understand? You get to see some little bit of idea the person tells you visually, but you don't get to see what's happening deep down in the head. But the body, it's a place that so many processing don't get to happen, unlike the head. But you get to see what the body entails, maybe what the body is wearing, how the body is structured, all of those things. You get to see them. So the same thing goes for an HTML structure in the sense that whatever you put in the head, you don't actually get to see them on a web page. You understand? It just handles certain things for you logically somewhere, but you don't get to see them in action. But the only thing you get to see in action are contents in the body tags. For example, I come to the body tag over here, and I maybe just put in some random gibberish like welcome. So let me say it's welcome to Techhaven class. I put something like this on the body, and mind you, there's something that I wanted us to install so we can be able to preview our code base easily. I already have it installed on my system, so I'll just show you how to go through it quickly. So if you go to your VS Code, on your sidebar here, you will see a certain 4 square box where one is looking at it is going off. This box here, it is called an extension. So this is the extension market. It's where we download certain plugins that helps to give a little bit of extended quality to our HTML environment. Some of you might not be seeing exactly what I'm saying because I have some couple of extensions that I've already written, I've already downloaded, sorry, to help give me some nice looking setup here and there. But if you want to download your own, just go to the extension markets. There's one extension that I need to download right now, which is very important to whatever we're going to be doing going forward. So if you go to the extension markets, click on the extension markets, you're going to see certain things like we have this auto close tag. This auto close tag helps me to close my tag automatically. Then I have the auto rename tag. I can use to rename tag easily and fast. So I have some couple of tags that I normally do install. Bracket spec colorizer gives my brackets some colors, just fancy stuffs. Then I have some CSS peak. So these are just a couple of extensions that I've installed over time. Then we have some HTML that supports extensions. So you can just take a while to install all of these extensions when you are free. Then the most important extension that I want us to install right now is this live server. So if you cannot see live server on your end, I have it installed. That's why I'm seeing it on my list. But if you cannot see it on your list, what you will do is you come to your search area over here. Then you search for live server. Live server. So when you search for live server, you're going to see this server, not this one, but this one over here that doesn't have the star, the one without the star. So you're going to see this live server over here. You will click on it. When you click on it, you will see install. I already have it installed, so that's why I can't see install, but I'm seeing uninstall because I have it installed already. So you click on this install, then just chill. It's going to install itself, then you can use it. So I want to believe that we have our VS Code opened at this point in time, and we've kind of navigated to our extension markets and clicked on our live server and also have it installed around this point in time. Donny, are we there?
Yes. Yes.
All right, perfect. Amaka, are we there? Amaka, are we there? Okay, since Amaka is away on some other business. All right, let's hear from Adeyinka. Where are you at?
Yeah, I just finished installing the live server. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, James. I think it's been a while I heard from you. Where are you now?
Yes, I'm good to go, sir.
Awesome. So let me hear from Cyril, Binta, Gifts. If you are there, just let me know where you are.
You are going where? Yeah, I'm there. I'm actually there. I'm not practicing, but I'm there.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
let
there
me.
too.
All right, perfect. One more person. I think John is good. I know John is good. John, good, right?
Yeah.
I know you're good. All right. Temitayo, I believe you are good too.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, perfect. All right. So let's me remove this and move back to where we are. So I will just click on, assuming you create, let's create a file. Let's create a file. Let me remove what I have here. So create a file. I want to create a file with you and just show you something. So I'm clicking on this, my empty workspace over here. I can click and double click and shows a file that I can create. I can click on this plus here, the first one, and create a file. Okay, somebody want to ask a question? Read one, please go ahead.
I'm currently struggling with my VS Code because for some reason it's not opening. But my question is, this is not a question, this is just a plea. Could you please make a list of the plugins that we should download on VS Code so we know exactly what would help us to efficiently write the code, I guess.
Okay.
So thank you.
Okay, so I've written that down on my list of the things I would send after this call. So I'll send it to the group in terms of what you need that can help you to just make your life a little bit easy. So there's something else that I wanted to show, which is this. So I'm assuming that you're at this point in time, at this place, where you can either double click here to set up a file quickly, or click on plus here to create a new file, whichever either works. So if I come and click here, double click, I'll just do write one name. I'm not using this anymore. I'll just call it text. It's a very bad way to write something. I said by trying to test something real quick. You should be descriptive in your naming. Very, very important. Be descriptive. Don't do like me and put text. But this is just me testing something to show you guys something. So excuse my French. So coming back to where we have text.html. So if I come here on my code, just confirm. I want to confirm if I have this plugin installed or if it starts coming with VS, coming in VS Code now. So we'll know how to go about it. But if you come here and you click on Shift, if you click on Shift exclamation, like Shift exclamation, just let me know what you can see. Can you see exactly what I'm saying? Shift, you hold Shift and you click on exclamation. Just let me know if you can see exactly what I'm saying. If not, let's try to find you out. So Shift exclamation, are you seeing exactly what I'm saying at the bottom here? These whole code structures. Doing, are you seeing what I'm saying?
Yes. There's only bringing out two options for me.
Okay, what are the options?
The first two on your list.
Okay, I think the first two is perfect. All these are just other things that I think I've done before. But this first two is okay. But the most important one I need to see now is this first one. So if you can see the first one, you are good. Don't worry about the rest. I need to just make sure that you see the first one and I see this thing at the bottom. That's all. So let me call somebody I want to call. I think he was having an issue before. I don't know where he is right now. Bushari, what's up? Hello, are you there? Just let me know where. Okay,
Yeah,
you're back.
yeah, I'm here.
How's it going on your end?
Yeah, the network is just so bad, so bad right now. I've not finished downloading the VS Code. I'm having issues signing up for Netlify. I created an account and I was sent an email. I tried to check the email to verify my email. It is not going through. But I'm following the class, so maybe I can go back after the class and then I'll go back and check over again and just try everything over again after I don't miss anything. That's why I'm just like going on with the class now and I'll go back and do every other thing.
All right, no problem. I'll follow up on you later. Binta,
Okay.
let's help you.
Okay, I wanted to tell him that maybe it's going to be easier for him to sign up with GitHub account because that was what I used, and it's super fast. Like there's no need to send mail or anything.
Okay. So I would have gone through that route, but I think GitHub is another kind of installations that or work through that most persons that are not new to it would have to go through. So that's why I didn't talk much on GitHub. But let's see, by next week we can have GitHub set up. Just because you cannot connect your Netlify today, maybe when we have GitHub set up, you can use that to install or to log into Netlify. But for now, just try and see if you can follow up and also be jot down to things pending when the video is ready or other resources are available. You understand? Thank you, Benta. Read one. Let's hear from you.
Um, I'm I'm trying to reinstall my VS Code and it's saying another instance of code is running. So I really don't know what to do, what to do next. Do you have any idea?
You're trying to reinstall or uninstall?
Yeah, I've uninstalled. So I'm trying to reinstall the VS Code and it's saying another instance of code is running.
Are you making use of a PC or a Mac?
I'm using a Mac.
Okay, can you try to see if you can go to maybe somewhere around here? Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
You try to see if you can go to a for squid section and try to see if any instance of this code is running.
Yeah, I can see a code running.
Then just click on it and just do it for squid.
Okay, thank you.
Then try and see if that will solve the problem. If not, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
All right. One more person before we continue. And Onyi, how's it going?
All good from my end. Thank you.
You have the live server installed right now?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you see the doc type when you click on shift exclamation?
Yes, the two, yes. I do.
All right, perfect. Perfect.
Thank
You're welcome. All right, let's go back to where we are. So we'll do a shift exclamation. Then we'll just do a tab. You can do a tab to select, or you do an enter or a return, whichever system you're making use of. So I'll just do an enter on my end to select up. So this is how I kind of like generated that initial code setup I was showing you initially by going back again and doing a shift exclamation, then enter, or shift exclamation, then a tab. Either works. Either you're using a tab to enter it or an enter or a return, depending on your system. Either ways works. So we're talking about all of these, and I think I've explained what the head collects certain data that at this point in time you probably don't need to worry about. You get to understand what the head collects later on, but let me not bore you too much work of what it collects and what doesn't collect. So the head section collects what it can collect. Let's leave that one. Let's go with the body. The body is the important piece of work right now. So on the body, we have certain things. You can collect everything possible aside what the head can collect. Let's not mix it. So I cannot afford to go and put a title inside there. It doesn't really make any sense. That's not its use case. But it can collect whatever the head cannot collect. But let's leave that one as a side story. So initially, I did a text inside here before I had to pause and come back to where we are right now. So I was just like, welcome to Techhaven program. I thought you'd be smart enough to finish it. So welcome to Techhaven program. Let's just call it like this, something simple. Then based on the fact that we already have our live server installed, what we can do is that we can come here, right click on this your text file over here. Once you right click on it, come back again, right click, you will see something that is saying open with live server. Open with live server. So when you click on open with live server, it opens up this particular content of HTML that we've written on our browser. So if you click on open with live server over here right now that I just did, it's trying to open it up, but it's going to go and take a look at my browser, which is this Safari. Let me just use this. It's not bad. So it opens up on my Safari browser, which is this over here. And you can see the text that I've just written, which is welcome to Techhaven program. So it is very simple, very easy, simple text. You understand? So like I was saying initially, like everything that I will write in my head, in the head block or in the head tag, will not be displayed on this browser space. Even if I put 1,000 lines of meta tags, code, CSS, whatever, nothing will display on this body space. This space is the body space. It is where the whole playground, the whole work, everything happens. But if I come here and put some certain gibberish, your system, your HTML, your VS Code comes with certain key features here and there that if I want to generate some random gibberish Spanish text, I'll just put something called lorem. I don't know if you've heard of lorem, but what do you have heard of lorem? Lorem is just a way we can try to generate placeholder content as fast as possible. So I can come and do lorem, and I want to do 20 words. I'll do lorem 20, and can click on this, and I will get 20 long words. You understand? It's very, very good to help you to just generate content as fast as possible. The only issue that the content are not text, are not content that you can read. I think they are Spanish from the last time I checked. So in this case, you can do, let's say, lorem. You can do lorem 1,000 self. It's just that much of content that it can give you. So if I come back here and it's refreshed, you can see I'm having so many bunch of text on my screen. So because I wrote all of these in the body tags, so I can afford to see them on this playground here. But if I put the same thing on head, let's try it. There's no harm in trying. So let's see if a lorem would work on the head. Come to the head section, we'll do a lorem. I'm going to do 50 for now. 50 on the head. Let's see what happens on the browser. Funny enough, it gets to show, but this is not like the right way to show it. This is like a new improvement because initially this supposed not to show before. I think this is just like an update to the whole VS Code thingy, but I think this is kind of like an off site. Somebody has a question. Taiwo.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you. Right. So I tried it just now. But yours broke it down into different layers. Mine was just a long text, like just going far and far and far. When I used Lorem 1,000, so I don't know, was it a plugin you used to like break it down?
Let me show you. So it's not a plugin, it's a feature. If you go to your VS Code, the top area here.
Okay.
Can you see the top area here? If you go to view, you will see something that they call the word wrap. Look for a wrap. Try to look for a wrap, a word wrap over here. Let me try to simulate what you did. You did a lorem, let's just say 50. Okay, 1,000. Then by default, yours was going right.
Yeah, the right. Yeah.
So word wrap was off. So
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay, I get.
So if you have the same issue, just like the way John has, just come to your view over here, then click on word wrap. So it wraps everything down.
All right, thank you.
All right. So I don't know the word wrap. Okay, question?
Okay, so I wanted to ask, is there an easy way to delete a line? So instead of just selecting like lorem 1,000 and I wanted to delete it, I had to select the button and so on.
Okay, let me see. I think there was one way, but I don't know if that way it works. Let me see lorem 50. Then I do a tab on it. Then okay, if you come here, okay, let me just do something long. I think it might work. Let's try lorem 100, for example. I didn't spell it well. Lorem 100, we'll do a tab. So if you come here to your code base, you can see that everything on this my lorem line is occupying line 13. So if you click on 13, it highlights everything for you.
Okay.
Do you get?
Okay.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay. All right. Did you get the picture now?
And so if I select everything when I click on delete, okay, yeah, it works. All right.
It works, have it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, just do maybe let me do it again. Lorem 200, for example. You might be thinking, how do I select everything and delete? Just come to the line. You can see that it's occupying the line it's starting from. Just click on it and delete. I think there's a question. There was a hand raised before. As I'm be cleared out. Okay, read one. Go ahead.
I just came back. I've been able to fix my VS Code by pretty much restarting my computer. Is it possible for me to get a quick refresher on how we got here?
Okay, where did you stop at?
The shift and exclamation mark.
Okay, so that's not far fetched. So quickly, let me just remove and just do it as fast as possible. So we're talking about trying to generate a very quick structure initially. So instead of us to start writing doc type manually, like the way it's happening here, so we don't want to do all of that, so without waste of time. So what we can do is that we'll just do the shift exclamation mark. So shift exclamation mark brings up it's a snippet of the structure. So we'll just click on tab or click on shift, tab or enter. And if I'm using a mark, the enter might be return. That's the text on it. So, but I'm using a mark, so it's showing me return. But if I'm using a window, it's showing me enter. So once you've written that shift exclamation mark, click on return. It just drops the full structure for you here. You understand? So I was trying to explain things that goes in the head and things that goes in the body. Well, I made mention that it makes more sense to have my content written in the body because that's where I can add styles to it and everything, functionalities to it. But if I put my content in the head here, even though I don't discover that it's showing right now, I thought you can extend it to have features and functionality, and it's not the right way to do it. You understand? So that's how I was talking about putting content in the body, preferable. So I did a random setup to just have a text like I just did. Welcome to Techhaven. That's what you were seeing before. I just removed it. Techhaven. So I went to my browser. So before I did that, I was also showing them how you can run your HTML on a live server. I guess you've installed the live server before you left. So if you have done that, it's very easy to run it here. So just right click on test HTML over here. When you right click, it gets to open. You see it's the first item on the list is open with live server. You click on it, it's going to open up your browser and open this and render this code you've written on the browser, which is all we've done here. Welcome to Techhaven. You understand? So prior to all of this, or after all this discussion while we're having, I said to show them how you can quickly render some bunch of text. You understand? So your system, your VS Code comes with certain placeholder is called lorems. So what lorem does is helps you to generate quick text as much as possible. And sometimes that you're working on a website, you don't want to think of copy at that point in time. You want to just improvise with something. So you can just quickly come to your system, go to that section and just do, okay, I need the text to be very, very long. Let me use 200. Or I need to be very, very short. Let me use 20 or 10. Any amount of numbers you like. Although I've not tried lorem 1 million, maybe you can try it and see, but still should not crash. I don't think your system will crash. But if you do lorem, let's say, for example, a 10, and you click on tab, you get to see the 10 words that gets drafted out for you. You can also do a lorem 1000, like so many persons have tried here, and you get to see a bunch of text coming up. So when you go to your browser, you get to see all of those bunch of text showing up as well. So if I remove this back, I think somebody asked a question in terms of I've just done 100 lorem ipsum text, but I cannot be doing all this. I cannot be highlighting everything and trying to delete everything. It's taking my time. So what do I do? How do I remove them? So that was why I was suggesting that take a look at the text space that this lorem contains. It contains everything in 14. That is why these are number blocks on your text editor. So this 14 is everything that this text block contain. And I think John mentioned that he's having an issue in terms of seeing content on his page, because initially his own lorem ipsum was rendered to not to wrap. So everything was scrolling to the right, making it hard for him to even read through. So I showed him where you can go to view on the top of your VS Code over here. Then at the bottom of that selection, just click on word wrap. Then your content wraps. So how do I delete this now? Like I was explaining to, I think, is it Binta or somebody asked a question? I can't remember person's name right now. So if you click on this text, right, you click on 14, which is the number, then you can select whatever you have on that 14 line space. Even if this was a couple of, let's say, lorem 500, for example, and it's looking long, I don't need to worry to start selecting everything. I'll just go to the top, select the 14, remove, and that's all. So that's how I get to, it can work in anything, lorem, non-lorem, anything in my text, it can work in anything. So that's how you just get this bad boy set up, very easy, not much of a stress. So quickly, I think I'm taking a couple of time, and I need to get into the practice of today. So I have some couple of setup. Let me show you something. It's a lot of code, but this code is doing something that I think you would like to see. So let me run this on my live server. Then you can see what this bunch of code is showing you. So I'll open my live server over here. So this is what the bunch of code is showing. So it's a simple structural guide to, okay, question. I can't see your screen. What's happening to my screen?
I think it's on the network, but you can see your screen.
Okay, let me just try and present again. Maybe that will solve some problems. Amaka, can you see my screen now?
Not yet, please.
I would have loved to pause for you, but I don't know if I can. But can you hear me? At least you can follow up with my voice.
I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
I'm so sorry about your network. Blame Nigeria for that. All right, so this is a setup that has HTML guide for beginners from basics to semantics. So this is everything that we've talked about today in terms of some paragraph tags, some structuring, and everything. So this is just a way in which I decided to, like, let me just give you something that is not a PowerPoint basically, and something that we can afford to just make use of as we go forward. So we have this doc type over here. So we've explained this doc type over and over again. So in our practice class, what we'll do for today is I will copy the code that we see here, go back to our practice. I believe at this point in time, we must have created something like this, week 1 practice HTML on our week 1 folder. Ignore this text HTML. I created it to just play around. So I'm deleting it. So we are back on our week 1 folder. And you can create a week 1 practice.html file inside our week 1 folder. How will you do this is, on that week 1 folder, when you click on it like this, you see this icon over here, which is saying a new file. Click on it, then you can create the week 1 practice.html file in it. Very, very easy. So I believe you are there. If you are not there, just let me know, ask a question or raise your hand, then I'll just attend to you. All right, so I believe we're there because I don't have any objections, so I think we're there. So if you go to your week 1 practice, the first thing we do is to drop the code we just copied, because the code we just copied is a structure, so we can afford to paste it, which is just this very simple structure over here. So now let's run this in our VS Code and see again one more time. Open with VS Code. So on VS Code, you can see that we've opened this page on our VS Code, and you can see the item in the body is saying hello world, which we can see on our own body over here. Now the item in the head is showing my first web page, which we can see here on the top area of the browser. So this is where every title I'm going to create on my website is going to be placed. Let's say we digress a bit and try to say a very simple, let's just do maybe a Netflix, for example. If they say Netflix, let's do a Netflix, for example. Netflix is not having the title that I want to see. Let's do should we do Bing? Let's do Yahoo. I want to show you something. So this is a Yahoo website. You can see they have a title section of things that shows up in the title. If we inspect this is this browser page here, let me inspect it so I can show you their title over there. No, let me just take this to Chrome. Sometimes I think this Safari is not showing exactly what I need to see. So if I inspect here, go to inspect. Sorry for, I think my system is slow, kind of hanging. Let me just remove it. I think I'm running too much item at the time. I wanted to show you the title on this Yahoo and how it was written, so you get to have an understanding of that title part of it. Don't know why this thing seems to be hanging at this point in time. Let me try one more time. You know what? I think I'll just leave that for another day. System is just taking forever. So this is just the first web page we've talked about. So let's go back to our guide for today, which is this that we have here. So this is the code that we just pasted, and I've explained the title, where it shows up on the screen at the top, and also how the body looks like. So this is the HTML skeleton. And other part of the tags that we haven't talked about directly are the text and headings, adding content. So these are the text formatting tags that we have. So we've not seen this in place so far, although I think I've mentioned them a bit, but let's try and see how these tags come to play. So I'll just copy the tags. So on my VS